inflationary data this morning, man?
I don't think it's as true as it really is out there.
Here we go. Let's do it.
So, honestly, well, you know why I don't believe it is because of the way the interest rate market is reacting to it. If the interest rate market really believed that this number was as positive, if you will, as I guess our Fed chairman and people
Sure.
who follow them believe, then it would be reacting differently. It's basically flat right now. So, the dollar is obviously retreating off of this news. It's having a little,
Yes.
but the thing is, all the currencies for the most part are trending into a new high or a new low, meaning the dollar has been strong versus them. So just because it's turning today off of this news, I wouldn't go too much to thinking that. Then you never want to try and pick a top or a bottom. This is a scenario where I'd be very cautious trying to fade what's going on right now. So.
I'm just going to jump in and say I think you make some great points, even on the 10-year, man. I mean, this chart on the 10-year in terms of trading, it's a blip. The jump we've gotten when you look, we were trading at 135.14. You even take that spike out of there we had Wednesday. You were still at about 135. And you were pushing almost 133 today, and you're trading at 133.17 with a yield right now. We're talking about a yield of 1.35%, and we were coming in at 1.12, which is crazy 1 week ago. So to that degree, and the dollar index, you put it. I saw that as well, as in you get a pullback, but it's been higher prices for the dollar for at least the recent past.
Well, since we spoke last week, remember we were talking about how unemployment where claims were going higher, but I'm like, don't be surprised if the unemployment number actually comes out lower, which it came out a lot lower than I thought it would. I thought maybe it would just be slightly. But yeah. I don't believe it though. I think it's nonsense. I think you really have to look at PPI tomorrow. You have to look at unemployment claims tomorrow. The oil numbers I think are significant to some degree today as well. I know that there's a little retreat in oil, but I don't think that that's going to stay that way. Especially with the infrastructure package that we have coming on. Online. So, but I think that with the dollar, like if you look at the yen right now. It's been rallying up into, where is it now? It's trading at 110.47. It's a little bit lower on the day. It's having a knee-jerk reaction to the daily reaction to this number today. And that's why I have to say, because of that, it's an intraday move. It's not a trend move. Like tomorrow, we could see this market making higher move highs with the dollar again, So that's where I'm looking at right now. I'm not necessarily a dollar bear because of these numbers, because I don't believe them, and I still see the number tomorrow coming out negative. I don't see how it's going to be a positive thing, as far as that's concerned.
It is crazy that yet. I mean, that's basically an inverse of the 10-year chart in terms of the trade over there. Pretty remarkable the move that's had in the last week. 108.17 to almost 111 this morning before that pullback. Yeah.
And I still see the yen going to 112 half, 113 within the next couple months, Nice. So I really think I think that the trend, see, that's the thing is that if you look at the overall trend right now, especially with the US dollar yen, it's a bull. So this is just a minor little sell-off. So don't get caught up in being bearish with certain currencies.
Yeah, I got the daily up there, and there's nothing screaming negativity on that chart going back a year for sure. Yeah. So where do we jump to next, man?
The next thing I would say is look at the Canadian dollar. So this one I actually have kind of an interesting little setup going on. So we know that it's been in an upside correction for the past couple of months, and now it's kind of bobbling. So it's kind of got some nice little pivot points from where it's trading at right now. Right now, I'm bearish if it gets a little sell-off again and hits support. If it takes out $1.2474, I think that will confirm that bearish strength exists for at least another couple sessions. There are some reasons to be more longer-term bearish to U.S. dollar Canada, so I like that trade. The one thing that would definitely take it out, now remember, because the dollar is pushing these right now highs and buffering, whether or not is the dollar going to come off this now, or is it flirting with resistance where it's going to be kind of choppy. If it's going to actually turn, well then, I could see if it gets above 125.89 in the Canada, you might have some room for a nice little leg higher where you can actually catch a nice, I would say maybe 1.5 to upwards of 2 basis points, where you can get probably up to 126 area, nice. So that would be a trade to look out for, as far as
I was just going to say, and I just have the chart up. I mean, that's just kind of the area that it's been in, right? The last 4 or 5 days or so. If it breaks below that 124.74. Yeah, that's at the low from almost a week ago, August 5th, which was a pretty big downward bar. But man, it caught a bid pretty quickly on the 6th, Friday and Monday, to kind of bounce back from that.
But that's a market where I think you're going to start to see some good volatility, where you'll see some good price swings. It's not going to be this choppy, we're not really going anywhere kind of thing. I think you're really going to have a swing trade situation going on for the next few weeks, for sure. So I do have something I can guarantee for all of your listeners, though, for the next 5 days in the marketplace.
My ears just got a little bit worried. I heard the guaranteed word. Let's hear it. Let's go.
Well, this is all legitimate, too. You can go to Amazon.com and get my book, High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, for free as a Kindle version if you want to go there. So that is a guarantee. Man.
Awesome. I appreciate you doing the show last week. I heard you talking about the book, The Candlesticks. Candlesticks, one of the things I love to look at as well, folks. I know you got some good callers talking about the candlesticks out there, so that was great.
That's why I'm doing it for you this week, because it's our 13-year anniversary for our company, too. So I figured because your listener was talking about it last week, I might as well put that promotion out for you guys this week.
Well, congrats, man. We appreciate it. That's awesome.
Thanks.
So what about oil? I know we jump around. My ears are burning for a little bit of oil action. I know you're saying you're still a bull. You know, it just before it cracked me up a little bit today. Some of the headlines. Now, you know, we all know that media companies, no matter what industry they're in, love headlines. And I love the headline out here today. I'm trying to find it real quick. I didn't have it up. Just talking about that Biden wanted to pressure OPEC to open the spigots. And I was like, what does that have to do with anything? You know, as in the pressure that plays in. So, you know, oil pulling back a little bit. Maybe it has something to do with that, but I kind of had a little chuckle myself. Yeah, and there it is. White House calls on OPEC to boost oil production. Well, yeah, as we know, that's not quite the influence we used to have.
It's not going to happen. Right. Yeah. I heard the same thing, too, and I laughed as well. I mean, him saying anything to OPEC is a joke to begin with. So
you can say it, but we know that their influence, I mean, there's no reason why they would really have to listen to that degree. Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing you have to watch out for oil is, like, I mean, if these variants really are as severe as they're saying, well, then we're going to have a deja vu occurrence of what we went through a year ago. And if that's the case, that means supply is, as far as containers tankers of oil being able to move globally, that could cause a big problem, where it's not a matter of how much is being pumped anywhere. It's just a matter of it isn't going anywhere, you know? Yeah. So, and that's another problem where I think we could have that happening, especially, you know, as we head into the fall and the winter time. Absolutely. Sure. If we go through this again and it hits us then, I don't know how we could not have oil back up at $100 a barrel.
You know, the other thing I'm going to sprinkle on top of that, just as living in Florida, we got a tropical storm or a depression somewhere in there. It's kind of the first one that has some spaghetti models, right? I think it's Fred. But yeah, we're coming into hurricane season, of course, as well in the Gulf, which we know provides a little bit of volatility potentially as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Teddy, man, we appreciate the update. Folks, head on over to Amazon. Check out Teddy's book. We appreciate it, man. Congrats on the 13 years.
Tommy.
We look forward to talking to you next week.